Welcome back to the Oddity Shop podcast, my little oddballs. This is the podcast where we
tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange, and bizarre stories from around the world. I've been saying globe for you. I had to say world this time.
I'm your curator, Kara, and this is your other curator, Sicky Zachary Poo.
I didn't know where you were going with that one, but okay.
How are you
I guess
feeling?
I'll accept that. I am...
You have your tea.
We're hanging in there. I'm in full man cold.
I don't know if you can consider yourself a man cold person, because usually when you're sick, you're great. You keep thriving through. You have no issues.
I usually do. This one got me. This
so
one
I don't
took me
think you
down.
can say that. I don't think you
That's
should.
Fair. I'm actually for real sick.
Yeah, you're very sick.
Got the super flu or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah.
It was worth it though, because I got sick because I spent New Year's in Savannah, Georgia, which is I'm sure where I picked it up, because I started feeling sick. You would have got sick here
anyway.
I know.
Michigan was like the number one for sickness.
Oh, dude, it was such a cool little city. It was so
So what do you?
The homes were like all super historic. It's like very old. I don't know. I like it, but it was weird because it didn't feel like the South.
Okay.
There weren't that many Southern accents or anything.
I guess I don't think I would have thought that going there.
But it's like the deep South.
I get what you're saying, but I don't know why that's not what I would have thought.
It was cool though. We did a mix. Obviously, we got there New Year's, so we went out, explored, went out all night. Not all night. We were home.
But I said, obviously, they all knew your travels. But yeah, you guys were home pretty early.
Yeah, so we did a bunch of
nice.
It was great because we had dinner and a couple drinks, and then we had a 45-minute walk down to the river where they do the fireworks, where there weren't any bars.
Nice.
So we stopped. We had a really lovely walk. It was beautiful through the city at night, and then you get to where all the bars were and stuff.
And that was just you and Julia that night.
And Tim.
And then, and Tim. Tim got there
Tim
that
was
night?
there.
He just left early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. He left a couple days early.
Okay.
The next day we went out to this old historic site and we walked 30,000 miles or 30,000 steps that day.
So, wow.
We went to Tybee Island. We walked around the city again. The next day we did a cemetery. And then the last day was...
Yeah, you sent me pictures of that.
Pretty much watched Heated Rivalry all day.
Oh, yeah. The cemetery looked really cool, though. It was beautiful.
It was really cool because all the Spanish moss off the live oaks was it gave it such a vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got chills. I love
Seeing tropical plants in the cemetery was really strange.
But you had texted me some pictures. I'm like, oh my God, it looks so beautiful. And you're like, but I still prefer cemetery.
The one in Kentucky is hands down the best cemetery I've ever been to.
Was that Cave Hill? Cave Hill. That was the most gorgeous, beautiful cemetery. I would go back to Louisville, Kentucky, just to go to that cemetery again.
And the dog park.
Well, and the dog park. But it's across the street. So
true.
they're one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about all I've got. What's new with you?
So I have some books. I've been reading a lot. So I read so many books in December, but I ended December with We Sold Our Souls from Grady Hendrix. Okay. If you're a band person, if you're you know what I mean? Band music, whatever, I think you'd really jive with this.
A musician.
A musician. Thank you. But not even if you just like music and things like that, I think you'd think this is a cool book. It was not one of my favorites from Grady Hendrix. I gave it a 4, if you will. I'm also a crazy person, and when this is recorded, we're only 8 days in, and I've already read 2, almost 3 books.
Dang, look at you. And she means 8 days into the year, not to the month of February.
Oh, yeah, to the year. Sorry, when we're recording this. So this book, oh my God. And I'm a very slow reader. I've said this so many times. So this book, I think, is it's 560 pages. So that's a little bit of a heftier book for me. I finished it in a day and a half because it was so fucking good. Okay. I told you to tell Julia to read this book. Did you?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to give it. I'll let her borrow it.
There you go.
This book. Now you're going to be mad at me. And I know I already told you this, but you're going to give me shit. I shouldn't say mad at me. The Taylor Swift docuseries, she was listening to an audiobook. And I said to Erin, we were watching, I turned to him, I said, I wonder what book that is. The Swifties did the Swifting and they figured out what book it was, right?
Of course they did.
So it is called The God of the Woods. And it went crazy. And Barnes and Nobles had a whole display with Taylor's face on it. This was the book that she was reading. I found one copy hidden at a Target.
You've been good at finding stuff hidden at Target lately.
So I have it. I finished it. By far one of my favorite books, if not my favorite book. It is so good. So good.
What's like the quick synopsis?
Basically, it is in the so it's like 1970, 50s, 60s, 70s. Okay. And it bounces back and forth. In this 1974, I think it is, a camper goes missing. Okay. And she is the daughter of who owns the campground.
Okay.
Very rich, money. But they already had a child that went missing.
Oh.
In like, it is, but twisty, turny, weird, very cool. It bounces back. So
that actually sounds interesting. I kind of want to read that one.
Zachary, I really think you'd love it.
Carrie.
Because it is so cool. It goes back and forth. There's only like 5 actual chapters, but in each chapter, there's character chapters. So it'll be like Judy, Alice, 1961, Judy, 1951. And it goes back and forth. It is so cool. Oh my God. I actually want to reread it already. It was so good. I might listen to the audio version of it because I think that might be fun. Then after that, I read The Midnight Library. So cool, because this is kind of like...
I've heard of this one.
This is a cool one. It was kind of like a quicker read for me. It was like a cool...
Yeah.
You would really like this too, because it's almost like choose your life. Like if you pass away, you can choose your life type of deal.
Nice.
At first, I kind of didn't know if I liked it. It was kind of going to too much at the end because I kind of was like the end. I was like, oh my God, I was like kind of crying. It was like a good book. And then now I've already started. I'm almost done with A Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
I'm just still surprised you can read.
I know, me too. I really am. So I've almost really done 4 books in January. And right now it's only January 8th. Can you believe it?
I cannot believe it. That's
set a goal to do at least 50 pages a day.
Yeah.
But I've been reading every day on my lunch break. And it's really nice.
There you go.
So that I've been reading on my lunch break. And sometimes I read before I go to work and then I try to read after.
You've been doing better than me. I've been napping on my lunch break.
Really quick. I know we got to get into it. I've been trying to do, or I've started to do kind of like what Julia's doing with her Canva, where each book she does like a little synopsis. Yeah. And I'm going to share that in our book club for Patreon. Oh, fun.
We got to get that thing going again.
Well,
I say we as if I ever.
Everybody in it isn't like helping me. It's okay. There's only like a couple of us, but it's okay. So that's kind of all I have. And then my only other ask is what we asked last week. Let me know what you guys would like to see us do for Patreon if you're a Patreon-y. And then also, what do you guys want on our social media? What type of stuff? Did you like what I was doing before? Do you want different stuff? Like, give a girl some ideas.
And we should ask for it at the top. Would you please leave us a review? We love you guys. Okay.
Rate, review, and send us in your stories. Okay, Zachary, Do you have a question for me?
I do have a question for you.
What is it?
If modern society began to collapse, what would you miss the most?
It hasn't?
I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. If modern society fully collapsed, what would you miss the most?
Can you be specific in that? Like,
yeah, I mean like full collapse of society.
Well, wouldn't we not be here?
No, I mean like the government has fallen. Everything's breaking down. No societal norms are left.
Oh, okay. Like I know what you mean by that, but do you get what I mean? Like it's kind of like what?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have an answer? Just so I can kind of like...
Listen.
Or no?
I know this is bougie, and I know it's stupid.
Yeah, no, let me hear yours.
I would so miss DoorDash. I have become so accustomed to everyone's...
Okay. So, oh my God. I've tried to stop going out in society. I'm trying to think of what I would miss. I know there's so many things I would miss. Oh no. Can we come back to this?
Okay, you think on it and just interrupt me at some point when you think about.
You'd miss DoorDash. Okay.
I feel like you'd miss Amazon. You and Aaron, I feel like do a lot of online shopping.
Yeah.
Not like in a bad way, but.
I know. And you know what's wild that you just said that is because I've just told myself literally like 2 days ago, I would really like to stop doing Amazon. But the problem is that like some of the things that I've been looking for, I can't find locally anymore. Yeah. And that's like the hard part. So yeah, I guess Amazon would be, but I hate saying that. I feel like that makes me feel like a bad person. But I know there's something else. There's something else, but I'll think about it. Let's continue on.
This year for Halloween, one of the costumes I had, probably my most intricate to date, was the one I wore to your house.
Oh, the plague mask?
The plague doctor, yes.
Okay.
So as I've been dealing with this sickness, and we had to write stories again.
Because you think you had a plague?
I've decided, while I'm dying of the plague,
oh Lord,
why not cover the story of the plague and the Black Death? I think probably history's darkest oddity.
Okay.
Are you
Give it to
ready?
me, baby. Oh, I've been ready.
So we're starting in a normal day in Messina, a major port city on the Italian island of Sicily, which is on the Black Sea, in case you're terrible at geography. The year is 1340. Okay, well, Sicily is the football that Italy is kicking.
Okay, what are we in?
1347.
Oh, not far off from my episode from last week.
When was yours?
13. Well, the original story was 1333 to 1340 something, I think.
Oh, yeah. So right around the same time. Okay, so the streets are packed and bustling. There's a huge population of people moving about their day as normal. And 12 Genoese galleys, or trading ships, pull into the harbor. Ships that unleash an unstoppable force that's going to devastate literally all of Europe and pretty much the entire world. Okay.
You know what's wild? I don't know if I actually know the background to the story, so I'm excited.
It's wild. Okay.
I'm excited. Not so... Well, yeah, no, I'm excited.
Okay. At first, there was nothing unusual about the ships. The Genoese traders were a normal sight here. But when officials and dock workers boarded the ships, they found something wrong. Many of the sailors were already dead, and those that weren't were obviously dying. Men laid on decks feverish and delirious, their bodies swelling, their groins under their arms, and many were vomiting blood. And
they still just proceeded on?
Well, so the ships came in like that. The dock workers caught on there. They see this and the port panics and authorities are alerted.
I just meant the ship proceeded on to the Okay.
Yeah. Well, just wait. You'll find out why.
Okay.
So they basically were already sailing in.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Panic sets in. The authorities are alerted. They're like, this is not a normal illness. And this fear kind of goes through the city because everyone's like, what is going on with these ships? And they're given the call, or they make a call to make the ships leave the harbor immediately. And the 12 boats are just literally pushed back out to sea.
Rightfully so.
This all happens in a matter of hours.
Okay. Uh-oh.
But it was too late.
Is that quick enough?
The rats had already gotten onto the docks. The fleas had already bitten the dock workers. And the sailors had already come into contact with the infected.
Oh my God.
This is the start of the plague in
That's
Europe.
just so wild how quick.
12 ships. Before we get into what happened, right, we have to know what Europe looked like in the 1300s because it's out of the Dark Ages.
I'm sorry, let me ask. So all 12 ships were infected?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, they all came from the same place, and we'll get into where they started from. But yeah, they pull in at the same time.
Cool. Okay.
Let's look at what life was like, right?
Yes,
so please. The population hits a staggering 75 million at this point, which is pretty high in 1300s, right?
Yeah.
So point of huge growth. So the world, even beyond Europe, has started to become connected by these extensive trade routes all the way back to Asia, the Silk Road and everything. All of a sudden, you have this huge supply of luxury goods, common goods, and ideas flowing across places that were never in contact with each other before.
Okay.
Huge cities begun to emerge, right, with grand structures. This is when the cathedrals, the Gothic cathedrals, and all those sort of things start to get built.
Yes. Oh, love it.
Big cities become densely populated, crowded streets, marketplaces, tons of livestock. They were bustling, right? So imagine children, they're playing in the mud, the streets, same thing. Everything is kind of filled with refuse, right? So they didn't really have plumbing. They would just kind of throw everything out into these muddy roads, which people would track all over. Then you have the trade centers, which were overfilled with all these goods and livestock. So people were very, very close to the animals. Houses were built close together, and life is just it is loud, it is crowded, it's pretty dirty.
Yeah.
And it is 100% focused on religion and God. The church held all authority, Prayer was medicine and illness was divine punishment.
Ooh, say that again?
Prayer was medicine and illness was divine punishment.
Oh, that's dark.
Well, it comes back into play. While everything is kind of growing, though, there's this false sense of stability because 1315 to 1317, there was a great famine, which left Europe always on the edge of starvation. Okay. So like they were teetering on this edge of like, if anything bad happened again, this could all fall because it's really built on mud.
Which is so sad.
I mean, it's not sad because before this, all you had was the Dark Ages. You know what I mean? So it's a time of growth and everything, and you almost had to go through this stage.
Okay. Way to be positive.
So for them, life was actually pretty great compared to their ancestors, you know? But the other important thing is disease isn't understood. They thought illness kind of like spread through bad air. Medicine at that time was a lot of poultices and praying and bloodletting and, you know, it wasn't great medical practice.
Hey, Zach, are you running low on spiritual supplies?
Hey, Kara, are you looking for a place with handmade items?
Yeah, we should probably go to Mystic Moons.
Oh, our buddies?
Yeah.
They make the most wonderful hand-dipped incense with over 24 scents, and we've smelled absolutely every single one of them.
Yeah, or maybe you might just be looking for a hand-strung bracelet made with only the best intentions.
And not only do they have the best intentions, they have 4 strings each, and they last forever, which I would know because I've broken every bracelet you've made for me and not theirs.
Oops. Well, they also have simmer pots for every occasion, like San to Yule.
And don't forget, Melinda is also a medium and a tarot card reader who's given us amazing readings, so she's ready to help us or you connect with past loved ones and get to know insights into your world.
My spirit animal is a camel. Thanks, Melinda. Anyway, so look for Mystic Moons on Facebook or Etsy, and then you can restock all your spiritual supplies.
Oh, be sure to check them out at www.etsy.com/shop/mysticmoonsllc.
Or at Mystic Moons on Facebook. They're all over our socials, so I'm sure you'll find them.
So go get some goodies. Okay, Kara, goodbye.
Bye. Well, what are we talking about? 1347?
Yeah.
What do we think good medical practice would be at that point?
Literally drinking potions and like, so everything was based in the 4 humors, right? It's blood, phlegm, and 2 others. And they thought like every problem was like one of those. Oh, okay. Hold on. I should have put this in here. So the 4 humors, this comes from Greek. That blood, bile, blood, yellow bile, black bile, and phlegm. Like anything that was wrong in your body was an imbalance in one of those.
Oh.
So like if it was a blood problem, they do bloodletting, right? If it was a phlegm problem, they'd try to like, I don't know, get rid of your phlegm, you know?
I mean, I guess I get where they're coming from, I suppose.
The easiest things to see. Holy crap, we're getting a thunderstorm in the middle of winter.
Oh, I wish I was.
That's what life is like, right? It's growing, overcrowded, filthy, and stretched thin.
Sounds fabulous.
Fabulous. But for them, it kind of was.
Well, yeah, it was better.
So let's go back to figure out how did these ships get to Messina?
Okay.
So we're going to go back
chill.
Thousands of years.
Oh.
And we're going to go to the bacteria that causes the Black Death, which is Yersinia pestis, which was not always a human illness.
Oh, shit.
It lived quietly in rodent populations in Central Asia.
I was going to say rats.
Marmots.
Oh, our marmot? What do they look like?
Rodents. They're like a cuter rat.
Yeah, I know what they look like. Okay.
It came from Central Asia. It was endemic, though. It wasn't a pandemic. It would flare up. The rat population, the rodent population, the marmot populations would kill off and then fade again.
Oh, okay.
But in the 1300s, a climate shift happens.
Oh.
And the disease begins to mutate.
And people don't think the climate matters.
Well, so what happened is as things warmed up, the parasite mutated or the bacteria mutated and it was able to live in different hosts. So it shifts to being able to live on fleas.
Oh.
So
wait,
as it shifts to fleas.
This reminds me of Greece. What is it?
Men are lower than rats. They're fleas.
Fleas on rats on amoebas.
No, they're fleas on rats on dogs. They're amoebas on fleas on rats on dogs.
Fleas on rats on dogs.
Come on, get it right. Okay. These fleas
Yes.
live not only near the rodents, but they live near humans.
Okay.
And something else mutates that allows this bacteria to now infect humans.
We don't know what it was that it mutated.
Well, it's a mutate. Mutations can happen in all sorts of different scientific ways.
Well, I know what you
That's
said,
how
something. We just don't know what that was.
It was something in the genome of the bacteria of science that I can't explain to you. But
that's fine. I was just curious.
It was able to attach to human cells.
Just say you don't know.
Do you hear that?
Was that thunder?
Yeah.
That was gnarly.
Okay. It starts to hit humans a little bit, right? But thousands of years ago, they were isolated in small pockets.
Okay.
Right? So, or not thousands of years ago, because this is now closer to the 1300s when the cultural shift happens. But as the trade routes grew, people began to spread, and so did the Mongol Empire. Remember, the Mongols went from obviously Mongolia, and they end up creating an empire that spans basically the entire Silk Road.
Okay.
The Mongol Empire lived in dense, dirty camps that became the perfect breeding ground for fleas. And then they would move great distances. So the sickness is moving with the Mongols. Which,
it's like, okay, I just have to say this because I know that there are some listeners that like just have to have a visual. It's not like today. Like we don't get, they don't get showers. They don't get like, they're just doing their best, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, they're not like quote unquote disgusting, dirty people. They're just living in...
Well, everybody was a disgusting, dirty person at this point.
In our view, yes, 100%. Yes. But like, they're not actually, like, that's just what they could do at that time.
They're just living in makeshift camps.
Right.
Taking as they go, right? So they begin to siege the city of Kaffa in 1346. Kaffa is a Genoese, in which Genoese is Italian, right? Controlled port in Crimea. Crimea is that part south of Ukraine that Russia and Ukraine are always fighting for territory of. But it's basically the port between Asia and Europe. That's why people still fight for this land. It is a hugely, hugely important port.
Okay.
They lay siege to the city of Kaffa. While doing so, the plague breaks out among the Mongol forces really badly. As they were losing numbers, they do something drastic, and this is the first case of biological warfare. They begin to catapult the corpses of the infected over the city walls of Kaffa.
No.
So the disease spreads inside, first to the rats, then the fleas, then the humans. People fell ill super quickly. Entire families are dying within days. Panic spreads, possibly faster than the disease. So as death is overwhelming the city, a last-ditch effort was made, and some of the Genoese traders and merchants loaded their families, all their belongings, and everything they could into 12 ships to escape.
I am so sorry. Could you imagine being the corpse, or the family of the corpse, or the friends of the corpse that got catapulted over?
Oh my God. Well, their family and friends were way back in wherever they were from, and a lot of them are probably slave.
Okay.
The Mongols took a lot of slaves.
Could you imagine thinking that your loved one got...
Could you imagine going about your day at work and seeing a plague victim flying at you through the air?
That's what I'm saying, but also could you imagine thinking that that might have been my loved one that got catapulted?
Listen,
my God, that's horrifying.
Very quickly, Kara, you're going to find that you cannot care about loved ones at all.
That is horrifying.
Horrifying.
And you know what? I don't care about you. I would catapult you.
I'm saying for survivability, you're going to have to give up love.
Survivability, I would catapult your body anywhere.
Listen, if I was actually dying of the plague, you have my permission. Okay, so
no, I don't want your permission
because we're going back to Messina.
Okay, fine.
The ships arrive. The disease is spreading. It goes fast. Okay. So this is how fast it works. Do you know that there was actually 3 types of plague?
No.
So we always hear bubonic plague.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
that's only one of 3.
We might have talked about the 3, but
so bubonic plague is the one that starts with the flea bite. An infected flea bites a human. It injects Yersinia pestis into the bloodstream, into the blood. Okay. The bacteria travels through the lymphatic system where the body tries and fails to contain it. So when it contains it, your lymph nodes swell dramatically, forming buboes. These are usually in the groin, armpits, or neck. They're extremely painful, hot to the touch. They often turn dark purple or black, and as the infection worsened, they would burst, releasing pus and blood.
Sounds like a good time.
The blackening of the tissue, right, is why the name the Black Death.
Black Plague. Or Black Death, yeah.
Okay, so symptoms: sudden high fever, chills and shaking, headaches, vomiting, delirium. People became super confused and unresponsive before dying. Death occurred within 3 to 5 days of contracting this.
Damn, could you imagine just suffering, though, for 3 to 5 days?
At least he didn't suffer long. The mortality rate is 50 to 60% of those who got infected.
Which, that actually isn't as high as I would think it would be at that time.
This is 1 of 3.
I know, but I'm just saying for that one, we're not...
I think the reason being is because this one it's such a small amount of bacteria coming from a flea bite, and the body is literally expelling it through the worst way possible. Okay.
All right, give me the next.
Number 2 is the pneumonic plague.
I think we did cover these in an episode, but okay, pneumonic. Okay.
This is the fastest, deadliest, and most terrifying. It infects the lungs. So this is where bubonic plague spreads to the lungs. So one, you could start with bubonic and get pneumonic. God. All you'd have to do is inhale infectious droplets from another victim. All it has to do is touch your lungs. When this would happen, severe chest pain, shortness of breath, violent coughing, then you're coughing up blood. Breathing is agonizing. Most people suffocate in their own fluids. Symptoms would appear within hours of being infected, and death within 24 to 48 hours.
Holy cannoli.
What do you think the mortality rate is here?
75 to 90.
Nearly 100%.
I was going to say that, but then I was like, I don't know. Damn.
This caused pure panic. You could literally breathe around somebody, within hours show symptoms, and within a day be dead. People started avoiding anyone who coughed. Households are sealed shut. But it's so dangerous because it spreads through the air. You no longer need a carrier like a rat or a flea.
Yeah, this was like COVID ramped up.
Oh, yeah. It turned these cities into death traps.
That's so sad. And there's really nothing you can do.
No, once it appeared, containment is impossible.
Oh, that's so sad.
Then there's our third version.
Oh,
this is septicemic, the silent killer. This is when the Yersinia pestis enters the bloodstream directly. This is usually it could be through a flea bite. It could be from advanced infections of the other two, or it could just be that you had an open wound.
Oh, shit.
And those droplets got in there. Okay. Sometimes this was the only form.
I like how you laugh.
Yeah. Sometimes this would be the only form that people would experience. And thankfully, it wasn't as long as the others. So you'd get sudden fever and chills, abdominal pain, vomiting and diarrhea, internal bleeding, and your skin turning black due to your tissue dying from the inside out. You basically liquefied from the inside. Most people died in this one before the buboes ever even get to form.
Oh my God.
Death would occur within hours.
So we would want the bubonic plague.
No, you would want septicemic. Because if you're going to die from any of them, this one, you have an open cut, it gets in there, you die. No, this one you died within hours.
No, I know, but if you had the bubonic.
Would you want to?
The bubonic, you could
Bubonic is the most survivable.
That's what I'm saying. So you would want, out of all 3 of these, you'd want bubonic.
Sometimes with this one too, this one was wild. And a lot of times it was only diagnosed after death because while this was happening inside, not everyone showed visible signs outside. So a healthy person could be infected, infecting others, and then just collapse instantly and just...
So your skin didn't necessarily turn that black color.
If you lived long enough, it would.
Okay.
Because you're basically rotting from the inside out. Yeah.
But not necessarily.
Some people, it got so quick that you could just be fine 1 minute and dead the next. A lot of times this looked like, remember the divine punishment? People thought this was just instant divine judgment because people were just falling.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
So the entire plague isn't just one bacteria, it's one bacteria, but it's 3 overlapping diseases that are just spreading. I mean, so fast.
Okay, I need to know how this, why did these 12 ships, so they came because they had...
So, because they were healthy
Right?
when they left. They were in the
Yes.
city of Kaffa that was starting to get overran with the plague. They had no idea how
But
fast
they had no
it
idea they
was.
were infected. Got it.
Right. They weren't infected when they got in the ships. They were trying to save their families. By the time the ships
They
hit
got there. Ugh.
Messina, they were dying. It doesn't kill one way, right? It attacks the blood, the lungs, the lymph. There's just nowhere safe to go.
So
Sorry. We'll discuss in like 1 minute.
Okay.
1347 is when it starts in Europe.
Yep.
1348, it hits North Africa, Italy, Spain, England, and France. 1349, Austria, Hungary, Switzerland, and Germany. 1350, extreme north of England, Scotland, Scandinavia, and the Baltic countries. And in 1351, in 1351, 1/3 of the population of Europe has fallen. 25 million people in 4 years.
Oh, wait.
Let's discuss.
No, I would, damn, I don't even, okay. So do we know, I know you said like how you can get each, but do we know like what made you more susceptible to each or not necessarily? We don't really know that because it was from so long ago.
Everybody was susceptible. It was just how you came into contact with it.
So it was just like a
bubonic was always a flea bite.
Okay.
Pneumonic was inhaling the droplets.
And then the other one was like wounds.
Could be a bite, but it got directly into the blood.
Okay. So it's not like so everyone was susceptible. Okay.
Everybody. There was nobody who was sick.
That is so heartbreaking. How many did you say?
25 million people of 75 million.
And that was only like in a span
4
of
years.
4 years. Oh my God. How
that would be like
so what
2 billion people right now dying in 4 years.
What stopped it?
We'll get there.
Okay. I didn't know if we were done.
What? Oh no, let's look at what life was like during.
I don't want to know.
Oh, we're getting into the horrors. So on the medical side of things, medieval doctors had no concept of bacteria or contagion.
Of course not.
If sickness occurred, the body was out of balance, or the heavens were. So bad air would cause sickness, and they would try horrible things to cure plague. Bloodletting, lancing the buboes to release the poison, which only released more disease. Rubbing poultices on the skin. They would burn a lot of bonfires and incense to purify the bad air. In fact, at this point, the Pope basically was surrounded by fire. And of course, good old prayer and confession were good medicine. In comes the plague doctors, right? These are they were common later in the outbreaks. They wore long waxed robes to repel the bad air. Their gloves and boots were sealed to the rest of their clothes, and inside the beaked masks were herbs, spices, and flowers to filter out the plague.
I didn't know that. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. It's also to mask the horrible stench of death.
Smell. Okay. You know what? I did know that they stuffed things in there for smell, but I didn't know it was like, okay, that makes sense.
The only reason I know this is because that same mixture was later used by grave robbers, which is where we get thieves' oil.
That's right. What is that a concoction of again?
I know it.
It's okay.
I don't remember. So anyways, most of the plague doctors end up dying themselves. And most of the medicine at this time, it was a ritual. It wasn't a treatment.
Which is really sad, though. I know, but it's still...
It is. Oh, no, the whole thing is fucking sad, dude.
It's awful.
From a social perspective, life completely broke down. So this spread so fast and so brutally that parents would ditch their infected babies, spouses who would just run away from each other, children fled their dying parents. It was every person for themselves. And it's not because they didn't care. It was just staying meant certain death. Oh.
I would ditch Erin. I would never leave Delilah.
I mean, she might have been okay. I don't know if dogs were affected.
She's still my child. I would never leave my child. I would leave Erin. Good riddance.
People who wrote about it at the time would write things like, no one would touch the dying, not even family. Right? And remember, you could be dead in hours. So religious care starts to collapse, which it was believed that the only way to get to heaven, you had to confess your sins during life and given your last rites at death and be buried. It all falls apart,
No.
dude. Priests
Yeah.
wouldn't take confession. They couldn't keep up with the dead. Bodies were burned or buried in mass graves if they were even removed or taken off the streets.
This is so sad.
And you took a place that was already dirty and now add all this. Imagine the smell.
This is like really, really depressing.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Thank you, Zachary.
You're welcome. It made me feel better about my sickness.
Oh, God.
Dude, infrastructure falls apart, though. Like, entire villages are just wiped out. Farms lay abandoned. Wilderness is taking over settlements. Like, the landscape was so changed from this. Even to today, we see the effects of how much was wiped out and lost and set back. Then we have to bring in the fear and the blame, right? Because all of this is happening. It has to be somebody's fault.
Oh, yeah. Whose is it?
Well, historically, whose fault is it for everything? Christians thought they were being punished by God. Right? They were fearing that they weren't going to get into heaven. I would actually argue that these people have been more blamed throughout history for things going wrong than women.
Okay.
It was, of course, the Jewish people's fault.
Oh, my God.
So the Christians accused them of poisoning the water supply, summoning demons, and conspiring with the devil.
Demons?
This led to many Jews being beaten, burned alive, or forced into exile. So, which is horrible. In a time of rampant disease, these people are still killed by fear.
This shit.
Others blamed all humans, stating that this was God's punishment, and thus the group of flagellants were born. They marched from town to town. They sang hymns. They preached.
No.
They publicly begged God for forgiveness, and they constantly whipped themselves. So now you have a problem of religious zealots traveling from town to town with open wounds from whipping themselves. So these people who were begging God to fix the problem only made it worse.
Fucking idiots.
Other people just gave up all hope, believing it was the end of time. Is why should they act right? They just abandoned laws, morals, restraint, and acted foolishly because why not? They were going to die anyway.
You know, it really is true when, and I don't really care, and if you don't want to listen to us after this, I don't give a shit. If you preach your religion onto people, you're the fucking problem. You're the problem. You're the issue. You're the problem. If you just do your own religious thing in your own, and you go to church and you just go home and you just like, and you know what I mean? Like, that's great. That you believe what you want to believe. The second that you start fucking preaching on, you're the fucking problem. And this is a perfect example of it.
I'll take it a step further. Not even the preaching it, but it's then using it to blaming others and put yourself on the pedestal.
I'm sorry. I think preaching has become that. I'm sorry. I should elaborate, but preaching has become that.
100%. So you asked how it ended, right? And it's hard to tell. So
yeah.
As horrible as it is, it didn't truly end for a long time.
Okay.
So let's put it in perspective for us, right? 2020 was horrible.
Yeah.
When did the pandemic end? Yeah.
It's not really ended.
But it slowly, you started to return to normal. Remember, it took,
what are we, 6 years? And it's still
and it took full 3 years before even
3, 4, yeah.
The plague was like that, only much longer. It never ended. It just receded.
Yeah.
It slowed down drastically after those first 4 years because it was literally running out of bodies.
Okay.
People who survived, right, they became way more isolated. They traded less. They reverted into their own groups. Luckily, some genetic resistance ends up being built up, but it didn't vanish. It just became less explosive.
Yeah.
Cities began learning to quarantine, right? That slowed the spread even more. Trade slowed. Trade routes were shuttered. If your household became sick, it was just kind of sealed off. Public gatherings declined.
Okay.
So that first wave ended in 1351. They had quite a few strong waves through 1375.
Okay. Wow.
The bubonic plague remained active in Europe until the 1700s.
I was going to say, I actually thought it was later. So it just continued on. But you know what, though? You could think of that as like the flu, though, right? So we always have the flu every season. There's like a variant of it. And now there's like variants of COVID. So the bubonic plague, the hiccups. There's just different variants.
We still see that the bubonic plague, people still get infected with it.
They do.
But we have hundreds of years of genetic resistance and everything else and modern medicine that can help. no one really knew when it was over. So there was always a fear that as life got back to normal, that it could all start over again. One historian wrote that the only way we could tell was fewer funerals, less death bells ringing from the churches, and the empty streets began to fill again. It took a long time. Life did return to normal, but we cannot historically forget the millions who died and how fast the faith of people were shaken and how fast society broke down. I mean, this changed the trajectory of our planet. I mean, this had to have set us back.
Oh, for sure.
So, for sure. You know, but the one thing that I found really interesting, and I didn't spend too much time here going in on it, but I think it's, if you want an interesting perspective, there are so many articles when you look up the Black Death talking about the benefits, how new ways of thinking, new systems of survival, new ideas in medicine came out. So while it leaves this horrible scar on human memory, it's like while it set us back, there are innumerable benefits that came from it, which I thought was a weird thing when I was doing the research to find all these articles that were like the positive of.
I like that, though, because if you look at a lot of things in history, though, you can always learn from it, right? Like we can always adapt and learn from it. That's just the same thing with this. So it does make sense. This was so far removed from where we are right now. It's so far away, but it makes sense that they can adapt from it. Like anything we go through, like even like COVID, our plague, we adapted. There are a lot of different practices that we have now, right? That we do. Like
I would argue some people adapted.
Well, you know what I mean? Like the world in a way has adapted to so many different things. Like every year we combat something, we adapt to it. So yeah, like that makes sense. It's crazy to think about it in such a capacity of that, but there are always positives out of things that we go through. So I like that.
I think there's always positives and there's always lessons, right? Because some of the pitfalls of this were falling back on existing beliefs and not trying to find new answers for things.
Maybe that's a better way to look at it. Not necessarily positive.
Well, no, there's definite positives to this that happened, but I think there's also warnings of it.
Right. Or just like lessons. I like that, though. Yeah. Like I think I like that better. There's lessons out of each thing that we've gone through, not necessarily positives. I like that better. Anyways, that makes more sense.
I think I have the pneumonic plague if I'm going to self-diagnose myself with any.
You're an idiot. You're such a fucking idiot.
But yeah, no, I've always known it came in on those 12 ships, but I didn't know where those 12 ships came from.
I guess I just didn't really know the background of it. I knew it came from rats or like rodents. Like I figured like whatever, but like I didn't know.
I also knew it was hundreds of years. I didn't know that the first wave was 4 years, dude. 4 years killed 25 million.
Yeah, that is so alarming. That's so sad.
But anyways, that's the story, the sad, dark, oddity story of the Black Death for you.
Thanks. So happy.
Made me feel better about my flu. All right. You got anything positive to end us on?
Oh my God.
Well, things could always be worse.
They could. It makes me feel better about my ongoing chronic pain.
There you go. I think for this one, the emoji just has to be the green puking face.
Oh yeah, because I don't think there is a crow, which could be like y'all decide. I think the puking
I think it's got to be the puking
emoji.
Face. All right. With that, I don't know. Write in your own plague stories. No.
Just write in any stories, please. My God, we're begging of you.
Join us over on Patreon, where we're getting a little more active again after our break. And I don't know. I think it's time to wrap this shop up. What do you think?
I'm thinking that we should. I'm thinking that the most important thing that you can do for us is to creep it real, my little oddballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.